friends, and welcome to a new Beauty and the Boutique video with me, Katie, professional makeup artist, stylist and founder of online boutique beautyandtheboutique.com. And if you want to take a look at what is new in store this week, then click the link below. Plus, you can shop in your own currency. Simply select your currency from the drop down. I'm really looking forward to sharing with you my makeup artistry tips and secrets to enhancing your bone structure in a really natural and subtle way. So what you're seeing now is the finished look. I've got really sculpted cheekbones, I've defined my jaw, I've lifted my eye, and I've given myself a really pretty fresh glow on my cheeks and my lips. Now I'm going to take my makeup off so you can see what I look like makeup free. So are you ready? Let's get started. So the first thing I always do before I create a makeup look is perfect my complexion. Now you don't have to do this, but this is something that I like to do because I feel my other makeup sits better and I get a better overall finished look. If you don't like wearing foundation but you want your skin to look really beautiful and perfect, then this pen is for you. It makes your pores look smaller, it hides redness, plus it diminishes dark circles, and best of all, you don't need any powder to set it, it sets itself. And all I do is apply this around any areas of redness, so around my nose, my cheeks, centre of the chin. I like to do a little cross on my forehead, under my eyes. This part of my face gets really discoloured and this affects my confidence. So knowing that I have this little pen to fix dark circles and any redness really helps boost my confidence. No fancy brushes required here, just your fingers. Pat, tap and blend in circular motions. So as a makeup artist, I've tried and tested lots of contour products, and in my view, this Daniel Sandler Sculpt and Slim Powder is really easy, quick and simple to use. It gives you a fantastic effect with minimal effort, which is what you want when you're contouring. So the great thing about this is you actually get two shades. You get a darker shade here, which is the contour. So this is going to deepen the contours of your face, and then you get the champagne colour here, which is just going to create a very subtle sheen on the high points of your face, because the trick to contouring is to create depth and then to create height. As a makeup artist, what really appeals to me about this palette is that it works great on every skin tone. The trick to getting a really good contour look is to use a brush that's been designed for contouring, as this one has. This is the Daniel Sandler contour brush, and if you want to find out more about this brush, click the link below because there's a million trillion ways you can use this brush. I am never without this brush. The first thing I always do when I contour my face is I want to create higher cheekbones first of all. So to do that, all I do is I suck in my face and do this really unattractive fish face, which is this. And then the hollow here that you get from sucking in your cheeks is the marker where you put your brush. Load up your brush with a darker shade and tap off any excess. Then you're going to move the brush, just fell it very delicately up towards the top of your ear. So you ready? Let's go. Do delicate sweeps. It's much easier to apply a little and build up the coverage than apply too much and then not know what to do with it. So I will do a couple of layers just to get that depth of colour. Now you can see that this looks fairly obvious, but don't worry because the trick is in the blending. So what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that your brush is free of product, so you can just wipe it on a piece of tissue, and you're going to wiggle it back and forth on the line you've created. Gently keep blending until you're happy. Just by putting this contour under the cheek, it's really lifted my cheekbone. Now we're going to highlight the very tops of our cheekbones, which is just here. So an easy way to find the tops of your cheekbones is if you look in the mirror and you go down from your pupil, and then you just go from your pupil towards the top of your ear. And that there is your cheekbone, you can feel it. Because it already looks lifted, we now just want to create a very subtle sheen to it so that when we move our face, the light will just pick up that sheen and light will bounce off, which will make the cheekbone look even higher. The easiest way I find applying this champagne highlighter is with my fingers. All you do is you just press this colour right the way along the top of your cheekbone. The beauty with this palette is that you can build up to as much as you want and it still looks natural. Now I'm going to show you how you can contour and slim and define your jawline. So I'm going to take the darker shade and dab a little bit on my brush. Tap off any excess. Then the trick here is to go from the tip of your chin right to underneath your ear. So kind of like following your jawline right the way to the ear. So careful not to apply it on the top of the jaw. You want to go just right onto where you can feel the bone. You want to go just onto this part. You're also going to do the other side, but for the sake of this video, at this moment, I'm just applying this side of my face so you can see the difference. I apply just a touch more just down the neckline, just to keep it all beautifully blended, looking natural, and to create a slightly more amount of shadow underneath my jawline, just to make it look even more defined. So you can see just subtly, very subtly, I've defined my jawline. I've created a very natural shadow underneath my jawline, and this in turn makes this part look more sharper and more defined. Now, my favourite part, I'm going to share with you how to create a really easy and quick eye lift. Really simple to do. All you need to do is grab the darker shade here, grab your brush, squeeze your brush so it makes it thinner, dab it into the darker shade, and then you're going to apply the brush like a little windscreen wiper into the socket of your eye. So to find the socket, just put your finger in the middle of your eye very softly, and you'll feel between the brow bone and your eye bone, that's the socket. And this is going to make the hollow look deeper, and in turn it's going to make your brow bone look higher, and this is what gives you that quick and easy eye lift. Squeeze your brush and then back and forth. And the beauty of this is because the shades look so natural, you don't have to worry that this is going to look unblended. It's not going to look like you've applied lots of dark shadow. It's just going to make your eye look lifted, naturally, really, really pretty. You don't want the shadow to go too far down because this is going to make the eye go downwards. So you want to end the colour just at the corner of your eye and not after the corner of your brow. So just like here. If you've gone over, then simply get a Q-tip or a piece of cotton wool and just wipe away. It's that easy. I like to apply a couple of layers just to really get that lift. Now I'm going to create a really pretty shimmer just in the inner corner of my eye that's going to bring my eyes more open, lifted and more pretty. So to do that, I'm going to use the champagne colour, and this time I'm going to use my little pinky finger. I'm going to dip it in some water, and by dampening this sheen, it's going to make it look more vivid and more intense. So right by your tear duct, and then you're simply going to just press that sheen, champagne sheen, right into the corner, the inner corner of the eye. And you can blend this, if you like, into the centre of the eyelid. Then I'm going to take the champagne colour and I'm just going to apply it just underneath my brow. So under the arch of my brow, which is from just where your brow arches and then to the end. And what this is going to do is as you move your face, your brow is going to catch the light, and as it catches the light, it's going to look more lifted and more higher. So you could stop there and just have your contoured look. However, I love to add blush. When I've sculpted my cheekbones and my face looks more contoured, I then like to add just a pop of colour to my cheeks because this just brings the face to life. I'm using this Daniel Sandler watercolour blush in shade Cherub. This is my holy grail in blushes. If you're scared of wearing blush, then this blush is incredible because it looks so natural. The reason it looks so natural is because it's a watercolour. So you give it a shake and then you apply just a little to the back of your hand, and one drop just goes really, really far. And the beauty of this is that your own skin shows through, so it's kind of like just a hue of colour. So you want to apply the blush to the apples of your cheeks because we've contoured underneath the cheeks, we've highlighted the cheekbones, and now we've got this part of the cheek that's free of colour. And this is the apple of the cheek. If you need help finding that, all you do is you take your finger and you go down from your pupil and you stop on the most fleshiest point of the cheek here. Dab your finger into the watercolour blush and then just in quick circular motions blend up towards the top of the ear. So if you've not worn a blush or you're scared of wearing blush because you're not sure if it will suit you, then this is your little saviour, because not only does it look completely natural, the colour is going to work on every skin tone as well. Plus you can use it on your lips, and I'll show you. I've even used this on my lids in the past, so if you're doing a different look and you want a pretty romantic look, then this just on the lid looks really pretty as well. Okay, so for the lips, I put a drop more on the back of my hand, take my finger, and I just dab it on to my lips. And this gives a really pretty stain. Now I'm going to share with you a mascara that I've discovered that makes short lashes look amazingly long. And this is going to intensify your eye lift. This mascara is by Code VLM and I absolutely love it because if you have quite short lashes, this gives your lashes amazing length. So the reason it does that is because it has tiny little fibres in with the product. And all you do is you place it on the very base, the very root of your lash, and you bounce it there for a little bit, like bounce, 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 and then you just lift up. Once I've applied one coat of mascara, I then like to go back and put another coat or two on the outer corners, and this just makes the eye look really elongated and lifted. So I'm now going to do the other side so you can see the overall effect, and then I'm going to share with you 2 extra tips that are really going to take your contouring skills up a notch. So you ready? Stay tuned. Next up, I'm going to show you how you can sculpt and slim your nose. Now, you might not want to do this, but at least if I show you, you've got the option. So you're going to take your contour brush, you're going to squeeze it so you just get it slightly thinner here, dab it into the darker shade, then all you're going to do, tap off any excess, is you're going to shade both sides of your nose. So you want the centre to remain your normal skin tone. Trick is to apply it lightly and delicately so it looks very natural, and then you're going to take it just underneath the tip there. I'm going to do the other side before we blend. Don't worry if it looks obvious because once we've blended it's going to look really natural. Then with your ring finger, this is the best finger for blending because it has the lightest touch. You're just going to wiggle your finger along the line to blend. So when I want to slim down my forehead, all I do is I take my contour brush, I take the darker shade, dab in, tap off any excess because remember, less is more and then you can build up. And then really easy to do from the centre of my forehead down to the top of my ear. I'm just going to take a little bit of the colour and to apply I'm going to wiggle it. And I'm going to do this on both sides. And what this is going to do is going to shade in the corners of my forehead. Let's do the other side. You could also take the darker shade here and using a Q-tip, dab your Q-tip into the darker shade, or a brush, I'm just making it easier with a Q-tip for you, and then you can run this just underneath the lower lash line, and this is just going to define your eye, kind of give it a really soft smoky look without looking like you've tried too hard. Not taking it right the way under, just from like the outer third. Everything that I've shared with you in this video is available in my store, beautyintheboutique.com. The link is below. Take a look, hurry over while stocks last, and if I have sold out, please know that I'm working really hard to replenish that stock for you. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you feel that you've learnt something in this, and I hope I've given you the confidence to try something new with your makeup. I'll see you soon in another video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye! That's a wrap!